Let's start not with code or money or cryptography but with a problem. A very human problem. Imagine you and I are friends. I'm sitting across from you and I have a beautiful, unique apple. I hand it to you. You now have the apple. I do not. The transaction is perfect, immediate and undeniable. We both know without needing a third party that ownership has transferred. This is how physical objects work. Now imagine I have a digital apple, a photo of it, a drawing, a token. I send it to you over the internet. I email it. Here's your digital apple. You receive it. But here's the question, do I still have it? Of course I do. I send a copy. My file is still right here on my computer. To make it a true transfer, we've always needed a trusted third party. A ledger keeper. A bank, a PayPal, a Venmo. Their job is to keep the sacred ledger. They decrement my account by one digital apple and increment yours by one. We trust them, mostly, to be honest, to not create apples out of thin air for themselves and to not lose the ledger. This system works, okay. But it has flaws. 1. It requires trust. What if the ledger keeper is corrupt, incompetent, or coerced? 2. It's permissioned. They decide who gets an account. Billions are unbanked. 3. It's a single point of failure. Hack the bank, corrupt the ledger, and chaos ensues. 4. It takes a cut. Every transaction has fees, and for cross-border payments they can be huge. For decades, computer scientists pondered this double-spend problem. How do you create a digital asset that can't be copied, that can be transferred peer-to-peer like a physical object, without needing a trusted referee? It seemed impossible. You couldn't have a digital thing, only digital information which is inherently copyable. Then, in late 2008, amidst the collapse of the global financial system, a collapse built on opaque, trusted third parties making catastrophic bets, a pseudonymous person or group named Satoshi Nakamoto published a white paper. Its title, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. It claimed to have solved the problem. Chapter 2, The Ledger That Everyone Owns. Satoshi's core insight was radical yet simple. Get rid of the single trusted ledger keeper. Instead, give everyone the same ledger. Imagine our town square. Instead of one bank holding the book of who owns what, every single citizen has an identical copy of that book. This book is the blockchain. Let's break down that word. Chain, a sequence of pages, called blocks, stitched together in order. Block. Each page contains a list of recent transactions. Alice sent Bob 1 Bitcoin. Carlos sent Dia 0.5 Bitcoin. The magic glue. Each new page has, at the top, a special cryptographic fingerprint, a hash, of the previous page. This is like sealing wax stamped with the unique pattern of the last page. If you try to tear out an old page and replace it, the fingerprint on the next page won't match anymore. The chain is broken. Everyone would know. So, in our town, if I, Alice, want to send you Bob 1 Bitcoin, I don't go to the bank. I stand up in the square and shout, "Hey everyone! I, Alice, am sending 1 Bitcoin to Bob." The citizens, computers on the network called nodes, hear this. They check their copies of the ledger. Does Alice actually have 1 Bitcoin to send? They look back through the chain of pages. If her past transactions show she received at least 1 Bitcoin that she hasn't already spent, the transaction is valid. But we can't just add every shouted transaction to the ledger immediately. We need order. We need to agree on which transactions go on to the next page of the book. This is the core challenge. How, in a chaotic peer-to-peer network of strangers, do we achieve consensus on a single, truthful history without a boss? Satoshi's solution was devilishly clever. It's called proof of work. Chapter 3, The Mining Game, Securing the Ledger with Puzzles. Let's go back to our town square. We need someone to write the next page, the next block, of transactions. But if we just pick someone, they could cheat. So instead, we hold a continuous, brutal mathematical lottery. We announce, whoever solves this extremely difficult but arbitrary math puzzle first gets to write the next page. And as a reward, they get to create new bitcoins out of thin air for themselves, the block reward, plus they collect any small transaction fees people attach to their transactions. This puzzle isn't a test of intelligence. It's a test of brute force guessing. Imagine we need a number that, when combined with the page's data and put through a shredder, the hash function, produces a shred that starts with 10 zeros. There's no shortcut. You just have to guess trillions of numbers until you find the right one. This guessing requires enormous computational power, which uses real-world electricity. The people who dedicate their computers to this guessing game are called miners. The process is mining. Why does this work? 1. It makes cheating astronomically expensive. To falsify a transaction, e.g. to say, I sent Bob 1 Bitcoin, but also keep it, you'd have to rewrite the page it's on and then resolve the puzzle for that page and every single page after it, faster than the rest of the honest network combined. The cost in electricity would be monstrous, and you'd be foregoing the legitimate rewards. It's always more profitable to play by the rules. 2. It decentralizes power. No single entity controls the ledger. Control is proportional to the computational power you contribute. To control it, you'd need over 51% of the entire world's mining power, a near impossible and quickly detectable feat. 3. It creates a rhythm. Puzzles are designed to take about 10 minutes on average to solve, regulating the heartbeat of the network. This gives transactions time to propagate. Once a miner solves the puzzle, they shout, I found it. Here's the new page with its proof of work. The network quickly verifies the solution is correct and that all transactions inside are valid. If so, everyone updates their copy of the ledger with this new page. Consensus is reached. The chain grows. The out of thin air, new bitcoins are the lifeblood of the system. This is how bitcoins come into existence. No central bank prints them. They are mined according to a public, predictable, and unchangeable schedule coded into the software. Chapter 4. Owning your piece of the ledger, keys and wallets. So the ledger is public. Everyone can see every transaction. Address A1B2C3 sent 10 BTC to address Z9Y8X7. But who owns those addresses? This is where another piece of cryptographic genius comes in, public key cryptography. Think of it as a digital lockbox system with magical, mathematically linked keys. Private key, this is a secret, ultra-secure password. A string of numbers and letters. This is your Bitcoin. Whoever knows the private key controls the Bitcoins associated with it. You must guard this with your life. If you lose it, the Bitcoin is locked in that box forever. If someone steals it, they own your Bitcoin. Public key, derived mathematically from the private key. It's like your public address or your lockbox number. You can give this to anyone. People can send Bitcoin to this public key. Address, a shorter, encoded version of the public key like 1A1ZP1EP5QJFE2DMPTFTL5SLMV7DIFNA. This is what you share to receive funds. Your wallet is not a container that holds coins. The coins live on the blockchain, the public ledger. Your wallet is a tool that holds your private keys and lets you sign transactions to move the coins recorded under your address. Here's the transaction magic. When I want to send you 1 Bitcoin, my wallet software 1. Creates a message, send 1 BTC from Alice's address to Bob's address. 2. Signs that message with my private key. This creates a unique, unforgeable digital signature. 3. Broadcast the signed transaction to the network. The nodes can verify the signature using my public key, which is known from the ledger. They can mathematically prove that the transaction must have been signed by the holder of the corresponding private key, without ever knowing what that private key is. It's verification without revelation. This means I can prove I own the Bitcoin without exposing my secret. And you can be sure it was me who sent it. Chapter 5. The nuts and bolts, walking through a transaction. Let's tie it all together. You want to buy a book online for 0.05 BTC. 1. You initiate, the bookstore gives you their Bitcoin address. You open your wallet app, enter their address and the amount, 0.05 BTC. You hit send. 2. Your wallet works. Your wallet checks your private keys, finds enough unspent transaction outputs, UTXOs, think of them as digital bills you've received, that add up to at least 0.05 BTC. It creates a transaction. Input, I'm spending this UTXO I got from Dave worth 0.1 BTC. Outputs, a 0.05 BTC to the bookstore's address. A 0.0499 BTC back to a new address of yours, change. Add tiny 0.0001 BTC fee for the miner, to incentivize them to include my transaction. It signs this with your private key and broadcasts it. 3. Network propagation. Your transaction zips across the globe from node to node. Each node validates it, checks the signature, checks you haven't already spent that UTXO. 4. Mining pool picks it up. Miners who are constantly gathering valid transactions into a candidate block, add your transaction to their pool. They are now furiously guessing numbers to solve the proof-of-work puzzle for the block containing your transaction. 5. A miner wins. A mining pool in Iceland finds the solution. They broadcast the new block to the network. 6. Consensus. Nodes verify the block's proof of work and all transactions inside it. It's valid. Every single node in the world updates its blockchain to include this new block. Your transaction is now buried under a layer of cryptographic rock. 7. Confirmation. The bookstore's payment system sees your transaction in block hashtag 789000. They might wait for one more block to be mined on top of it, block hashtag 789001. To be extra sure, this is one confirmation. After 6 blocks, 1 hour, it's considered immutable. The book ships. You have just sent value across the planet peer-to-peer without a bank in under an hour for a minuscule fee. The record is permanent, transparent, and secured by the laws of mathematics and physics, electricity. Chapter 6. The Monetary Policy. Why is it digital gold? Bitcoin isn't just a payment network. It's also an asset with a brutally strict monetary policy, coded into its DNA. Fixed supply. Only 21 million Bitcoins will ever be created. Not one more. This is enforced by the network consensus. It's the first absolutely scarce digital object in history. Predictable issuance. New Bitcoins are created as the block reward for miners. This reward halves approximately every 4 years, every 210,000 blocks. It started at 50 BTC per block in 2009. 2012, halved to 25 BTC. 2016, halved to 12.5 BTC. 2020, halved to 6.25 BTC. 2024, halved to 3.125 BTC. The end of mining. Around the year 2140, the block reward will dwindle to essentially zero. From then on, miners will be supported solely by transaction fees. This halving schedule creates a built-in stock-to-flow model, mimicking the extraction of a precious resource like gold, but with perfect predictability. This is why Bitcoin is called digital gold, or a store of value. It's not controlled by any government. It can't be printed into existence to pay off debts, debased. It's durable, portable, divisible. You can send 0.000000001 BTC, recognizable and scarce. For people in countries with hyperinflation, Venezuela, Argentina, Lebanon, or capital controls, it represents a lifeline, a way to opt out of a failing monetary system. Chapter 7. The ecosystem, wallets, exchanges, and the layers. Bitcoin has spawned a vast ecosystem. Wallet types. Custodial, exchange wallets like Coinbase. They hold your private keys for you. Convenient, but you're back to trusting a third party. Not your keys, not your coins. Non-custodial, self-custody, you hold the keys. Software wallets. Apps on your phone/computer, e.g. Blue Wallet, Electrum. Good for small amounts. Hardware wallets. Physical devices, e.g. Ledger, Trezor, that keep keys offline, cold storage. The gold standard for security. Paper wallets. A physical printout of keys. Secure if generated safely but fragile. Or exchanges. These are the on-off ramps. You trade fiat currency, dollars, euros, for Bitcoin. They are regulated businesses, the most visible face of crypto to the mainstream. The scaling problem and Layer 2. The base Bitcoin chain, Layer 1, is secure and decentralized but slow, 10-minute blocks, and has limited throughput. It can't handle Visa-level transactions. The solution? Layer 2 protocols that sit on top of Bitcoin. The Lightning Network, the most famous. It lets you open a private payment channel with someone. You can then send tiny, instant, nearly free payments back and forth thousands of times, only settling the net result on the main blockchain. Think of it as opening a tab at a bar versus paying for each drink with a credit card swipe. Chapter 8. The Human Story. Why does it matter? Beyond the technology, Bitcoin is a philosophical, economic, and social phenomenon. Cypherpunk roots. It emerged from the cypherpunk movement of the 1990s, which advocated for privacy and individual sovereignty through cryptography. It's a tool for freedom. Or a hedge against the system. After the 2008 bailouts, it presented an alternative. Money that can't be confiscated arbitrarily, inflated away, or shut down by a single entity. It's anti-fragile. A new primitive, it's more than money. It's the first global, decentralized, time-stamped, and immutable database. It's a foundation for new applications we're only beginning to imagine. The volatility and the narrative. Its price is wildly volatile because it's a new, speculative asset discovering its value. Its story swings between digital gold, store of value, peer-to-peer cash, medium of exchange, and risk-on tech asset. The environmental debate. Proof of work does use significant electricity. Defenders argue much comes from stranded/renewable sources, and the energy secures a global monetary network, comparing it to the energy cost of the traditional banking system or gold mining. The debate is fierce and ongoing. Conclusion: the essence of Bitcoin. So, what is Bitcoin in human terms? It is a sovereign, digital, verifiable fact. It is a system where truth about ownership is not determined by a powerful authority you must trust, but by a decentralized network you can verify. It turns trust from a social/political problem into a mathematical one. It is a machine that converts electricity, a physical real-world resource, into chronological truth on a digital ledger. It is hope for those whose money has failed them, and a provable constraint for those in power who might be tempted to print without limit. It is messy, revolutionary, confusing, empowering, and utterly fascinating. It is not controlled by anyone, yet it is governed by rules that everyone can see. It is software, but it behaves like a living, resilient organism. Whether you see it as the future of money, a speculative bubble, a technological marvel, or a libertarian dream, Bitcoin is undeniably one of the most profound innovations of the 21st century. It asked a simple question: what if money was just math? And it built an unbreakable global answer.